Hello. Day 4. Let's go. Woo. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Hello. Okay, I see you coming on. Let me take my music down. I give myself away. If you have never heard that song, I've had it on, yes, repeat. Yes, Kimber, we fighting for real tonight. I have had that song on a repeat. If you've never heard I Give Myself Away by William McDowell, it's a praise and worship song. And let me tell you, I don't know about you guys. I know that I started I'm wearing fatigues because I'm going to war, which was true because it was a situation on Monday. But I'm not going to go deeply into it now. It may become a podcast episode, who knows? But if you guys knew all the things being fought through this week, my husband was just telling me, do you think it's by accident that you are going live? You guys may not know this. I don't go live a lot on Instagram. I just don't. But for some reason, the schedule worked out so that I was going live several times this week. And I've just been receiving the most incredible DMs from people about things like helping them break free and have a breakthrough. And in the midst of all that, I wish you knew the attacks that have come. And yet I am still committed to the call. I'm always going to be committed to the call. And I don't know, I've been on so many lives. I don't know if I said it here or somewhere else, but I've been reading Job. And Job, I think it's chapter 5:22. It talks about, I was telling my prayer partner yesterday, it talks about, I'm paraphrasing, this ain't a direct quote, but this is what I took from it, that we have an opportunity to almost laugh in the face of the things that come to attack us because it's not permanent, right? It's not permanent. And we laugh not because we don't acknowledge the problem. We laugh because in spite of the problem, we know that in the end, we still prevail. We know that in the end, we still prevail. If we believe that all things do work together for our good, in the end, when it's all said and done, I'm still going to be here. And I'm still going to be answering the call on my life. And I'm still going to keep pushing through. Absolutely, positively, no matter what. So, listen to that song. Listen to that song. If you're like me and you're like, I give my life away, Lord, I give myself away. I've already surrendered. That this is not about me. This is who you've groomed me to serve. This is what all of these experiences have been about. This is what everything that I've been through, the things that I've been through 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 2 days ago, and today, they all serve a purpose for how I show up in order to be a blessing to other people. So that's why the song was on when you guys came on. But good evening. Welcome to day 4 of Committed to the Call. Welcome, welcome. If you've been here for 4 whole days, drop a 4 in the chat. Let me see it. If you've been here for a whole 4 days, if you've been here, get in your life. I love it. I Am Free King says that song will make you shout your wig off, sweat your makeup off. I know that's right. I know that's right. Welcome, Stephanie, Roberta. I Am Free King, Olivia. I see a lot of people have been here for all 4 nights. Thank you so much for continuing to show up. That's commitment. That's commitment. And if you're watching the replay, then I just want to thank and acknowledge you as well. If you've been here for 3 out of the 4, drop a 3 in the chat. If you've been here for 3 out of the 4, because remember, I say every single night, this is building on top of each other. And we have to learn to be people. If we're going to be committed, we have to learn to be people who don't skip steps. That's a word right there for someone. We are usually in such a hurry, going everywhere real fast, but getting nothing done, right? That we skip steps. We think that we can just always piece together all the things. That's a part of the problem. You've just been piecing things together. I'm all about sloppy progress, but I still believe in being decent and in order. And so when you are leaning into someone and they're like, "Hey, here are the steps." Don't go, "I don't need two because I've already got two covered." Is it working? Because if it's not working, maybe you don't have it covered. Ooh, that's a word. If it's not working, maybe you don't have it covered. Sometimes you have to listen to get that one thing that'll change everything. Sometimes you have to really lean in. And sometimes there are a lot of people here who have been through my last two challenges and they're still here and they're still having new revelation. They're still having fresh breakthroughs because it doesn't matter if you've heard it before. You are not even the person you were yesterday. So you definitely are not the same person that you were 2 months ago or a year ago or 3 years ago when you're like, "Oh, I already worked on that." Is it working? And even if it's working, is it optimized? Is it optimized? So let's just commit to being people who don't skip steps. So if this is your very first night here, I'm not mad at you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not mad at you at all. Here's the thing. I just want you to know that some things I'm going to say tonight may confuse you. They may press up against some beliefs that you've had for a while. They may not make sense to you because the people who've been here since Monday, either live or watching the replays, they have been processing some things over the last few days. That doesn't mean that you're not welcome to be here. It doesn't mean you're not going to get a lot of great value from tonight. I just want to encourage you to not just start and stop here. You will have, if you registered for the challenge, patricewashington.com/challenge. If you registered for the challenge, just take advantage of those replays because they will not be up forever. So don't think, "Oh, I'll just catch the replays in a few months." From who? From where? From how? Them replays coming down everywhere. So if you need to get it in your spirit, make sure you go and check out the replays for the first 3 days of Committed to the Call. So also, again, I know you guys have still been inviting folks in. So if you're brand new to the challenge, welcome. Again, my name is Patrice Washington. I am the founder of Redefining Wealth. This is an entire movement. It's rooted in a podcast as my platform, but this is my life's mission in this season of my life, to move the masses to understand that wealth is so much more than just money and material possessions. Wealth is about the condition of well-being. It's about being fulfilled. It's about being content. It's about understanding that this journey is about chasing purpose, not money. And I'm not saying that money doesn't have a place. We're going to talk about that today. I'm not saying that money doesn't have a place, but I'm saying money is not where you start. Being of service, utilizing your gifts, your God-given gifts, to serve the people you are called to serve, right? And telling the truth about who you are and why you do what you do, not these surface level stories we like to tell, which is what we talked about yesterday, and bringing that together to really share in a way that moves people to action for themselves, for their own lives, so that they can experience results, right? That's what we want to lean into first. A lot of us have been taught to start with the money, but starting with the money does not give you a strong foundation. And after being known for over a decade now, as America's money maven and as a finance expert, I can tell you, I actually can't tell you the number of people, because there have been so many. I can't tell you the number of people who have thought that by getting the better job, all of their problems were going to go away. And better, not in terms of it actually benefiting or utilizing their purpose, better because it was a higher dollar amount. And in the end, they were still unfulfilled, and they still found ways to mismanage that money because they were unfulfilled. Because they were unfulfilled. Okay? And so that's why in this community, even though I'm still known as a finance expert, look, that book, That was a bestseller right there. Real Money Answers for Every Woman. I also have Real Money Answers for Men. Those books did really well, and they were just really foundationally about all the money stuff. But the reason that I circle back to write Redefine Wealth for Yourself is because most people can't really get into what that money book, Real Money Answers for Every Woman, talks about. They can't get into it because they have clutter in so many other areas of their lives. They have clutter in so many other areas of their lives, and it's preventing them from doing the basic things we all already know to do with our money. All right. So I want to just jump in. Is that all right? I want to just jump in because yesterday we talked about knowing your story and sharing your story and committing to the truth of it. And let me say this. I read probably 2 to 3, I want to say almost 3 dozen stories. I went through all of the coaches' posts in the Facebook group this morning, and I took some time and I read so many of your stories. And I just want to acknowledge you for trusting us to be a safe place. You guys shared some very deep stories. You guys share some very deep stories. And I just want to thank you. I know many of you said, I've never said this anywhere else. I personally felt so good to know that you felt comfortable enough and free enough and vulnerable enough to share in this community. And then I want to encourage and thank those of you who saw people's stories and you didn't rush in with any judgment. You didn't rush in trying to force or fix anything. You just rushed in and said, sis, I see you. I see you. I understand. I know people have been there. I saw so much encouragement. And I just want to say thank you because that's what we do. That's what we do in our spaces. And I mean this when I say, if I ever feel like someone is not sensitive to someone's story or, has anything negative to say or trying to make you feel some kind of way, I will put them out before I put you out for being vulnerable because you're doing what we asked you to do. And not for my sake, not so I could just be nosy and up in your business. Absolutely not. For some of you, you probably exhaled. It was hard and you might have been typing through tears and you might have been holding a lot back. But I pray that when you let it go, that you say, man. And then when you saw that nobody was coming at you like, why you stay with him? Why didn't you cuss them out? Why didn't you do this thing? That you realize that so many of us, as you can see the stories, are all going through our own stuff. So we definitely not here to judge you about yours. Remember I told you last night, you're judging your story much more harshly than anybody else ever will. You're judging your story much more harshly than anyone else ever will. And I just want to thank you. Keela says she definitely typed through tears. Yes, I could only imagine. I just want to thank you for exhaling in this space and knowing that you recovered. Because as I told you yesterday, if you can't practice doing it here, how are you supposed to go out there and serve your people? If you can't tell us in a space where there is no judgment, how are you going to do it out there when judgment is real? Judgment is real. I experience resistance every single day for all the nice things that people say about me, or you may think about me, or you may have heard about me. There's a whole nother group of people that can't stand me, that talk mess about me, that post negative things about me, that troll me. And yet I'm here every day because I'm not here for them. I'm here for you. So I want you to remember this, because I don't want to paint a picture like as you're walking in purpose, everything is going to be perfect. It's not. But are you committed to the call? But are you committed to the call? I'm more committed to the call on my life and serving those who are drawn to me than I am focusing or leaning into the opinions of people who don't know me, don't want to know me, and want to create a whole scenario about me. I know what is. So as long as I stand in the truth of what is, what else can I do? What else can you do? Right? People are going to judge. They're going to have stuff to say. But you better do it in your head or leave it at your house. Because once you come into my space with that foolishness, now I can say or do whatever I need to do as well. And that's usually I'm going to block you and bless you. So don't worry. I don't just be cussing folks out in case you were concerned. But I have had clients cuss people out on my behalf. I told them to delete it, but I have had that happen. So tonight, we're going to get some clarity around marketing and money. And I find that these are the two things that emerging and evolving entrepreneurs need the most, but they're the most scared to talk about. Especially when you're a light worker. Especially when you truly feel led or called. A lot of us have been taught not to talk about ourselves. And a lot of us have been taught that we shouldn't sell anything. Right? If you have been taught that it was not good to talk about yourself, just say that's me. That's me. Just so I know that I'm talking to the right people. Just say, oh, that's me. That's me. That means you grew up with people saying things like, don't be boastful. Why are you bragging? Oh my gosh, all she does is talk about herself. So then what do? We start to shrink. We don't want to share our wins. It makes us not want to share any of our success. And if you are a chronic overachiever, you go from success to success, but you stuff it down and don't say anything because you don't have the right people around you who can hold space for that. Right? Yes, Mary Teresa. My dad was constantly saying, don't get a big head. All those things. So now we don't want to be the person talking about ourselves. I don't want to get a big head. I don't want to boast. I don't mean to brag. But I want to have a business. Well, how is this going to work? Because who's supposed to talk about the business? If you can't talk about the business, for some of you, this conversation is about to set you free because you're wondering, why am I doing all the things? You know all the tactics. You just don't show up powerfully because secretly in the back of your head, you've created a conversation that you should be small so that everyone else can be big. That you should not rock the boat. You should not say too much, right? I don't want to brag. I don't want to make people uncomfortable, but you're also alienating the people you say you want to serve because they don't know enough about you to know if you're credible. They don't know enough about you, right? To know if you're the person that can help them. So hiding your accomplishments, hiding your intelligence, hiding your experience, how does that help them or you? How does it help them or you? Who's being blessed with that? But then in the next breath, you're like, oh, I really need clients. Well, where are they going to come from if you don't talk about yourself, friend? Where are they going to come from? When you're not willing to embrace these conversations about marketing and about money, it says to me, as someone who's a coach, 8 times out of 10 with the people that I've worked with, they have had a history of making, how do I want to say this? 8 times out of 10, I think many of us are dealing with false humility. That's what I want to say. We're dealing with a false sense of humility. So Joanne said the mugs though. Every night, Joanne, I got a new mug, girl. I'm always ready. we're dealing with a false sense of humility. And I feel, especially if, and I know many of you are, and again, I don't come to offend, but it's my truth. I feel that false humility is killing the kingdom. I feel that there are so many people who are light workers. They have so much stuff to contribute out in the world, out in the marketplace. And this false sense of humility that they carry, that many of us got from being in kingdom minded spaces, it's doing the exact opposite. So instead of us leaning into our gifts and figuring out how we can offer that in the marketplace, most of us hide the gift. And if we do want to acknowledge the gift, we only go acknowledge it in the small circle. It's only going to go so far. Right? And for those of you who don't know what false humility is like, what's a good example? Deflecting praise. So we talked about denying our gifts, right? When someone says, "Oh my gosh, you are so good at that," and you're like, "Oh girl, this is nothing. Anybody can do this." Really? If anybody could do it, why isn't everyone doing it? Really? Oh my gosh, you know when someone pays you a compliment and you're like, "Oh girl, I like your jacket," and you're like, "Oh, this old thing." You don't only do that with compliments about clothes. You do that when people acknowledge your gift. And the more you do that, the more it chips away at your ability to actually present your gift and present what you do in the marketplace with more confidence, more boldness, and more authority. So I came tonight to tell you that we're going to stop deflecting praise. We're going to start embracing these gifts that we have, acknowledging that they have value, committing to the truth of our story, and then we're going to open ourselves up and give people an opportunity to experience more of us. Here's what I've learned, because tonight is all about conveying value in the marketplace. Conveying value in the marketplace is about sharing bits and pieces of those stories that you told last night, not all of it. And again, some of you have very heavy stories, and I'm not saying go out in the world and tell all your business, but there's going to be a piece of that story that really connects with what you do in the world and how you're supposed to serve people. And your responsibility is to convey that in as many ways as you possibly can out in the world. For some of you, it's going to be speaking. For some of you, it's just posting on social media. For some of you, it's writing. I don't know what that thing is for you. You know better than I do. But it's about putting it out there consistently. Not with this spirit of, well, I already said that. So what? I've told my story 46,000 times, and I'm going to tell it 46,000 more, because there's darn near 8 billion people in the world, and it's always going to be new to someone. But when I take the focus off me and what the story can do for them, I'm always going to show up and convey value in the marketplace. That story, those stories that you guys wrote last night, they are valuable. Those are not things that just happen to you. They happen for you to be the witness. They happen for you so that they could become a testimony for someone else. I keep saying this and I mean it. It's not about you. You're going to benefit, but this is not about you. So this like, oh, I don't want to share and I don't want to say anything. Well, you've made it about you again. If you knew someone needed to hear something that you had to say, or you had a cure for someone's illness out there, would you just walk by them knowing you had the cure? If someone was bleeding in the street right now and you had a first aid kit in your purse, in your backpack, in your trunk, do you think it's enough to know that you have the first aid kit but not take it out and be of service? It's not enough to know you have a first aid kit. How the heck does that help the person bleeding in the street? Some of you guys have the bomb that is going to be such healing to someone else, and you walking around keeping it tucked in your purse like they some little peppermints. These are people's lives. This is healing. What are you doing? And you want to, well, I don't really market. I don't like to talk about myself. This ain't about you. Your story is just a piece of the puzzle that is going to help other people get what they need to get. This is not about you. One of the lessons that I learned many years ago, because I was out and I was so pumped to be telling my story, honey. And I was telling the story. I was going any and everywhere they would invite me. And I was telling the story, and I was, sharing bits and pieces on social media and getting people all excited. And I shared this story in my program, Command the Stage, that I was out speaking at a church here in Atlanta, in South Atlanta. I'll never forget this. And I just knew I killed it. I did the thing. I did the thing on the stage. I was so pumped up, standing ovation. And I said, I'll be in the back to hug and take pictures and all this. And this woman came back there, and she was not here for the just take pictures. She was like, hey, where's the book? And at the time, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a book. I didn't have a program. I didn't have products. I didn't have anything. And she's like, I said, oh, well, I don't have a book. And she looked at me like, you don't have a book? I'm like, well, I left it all on the stage. I did my thing. I did my thing on the stage, And the lady said, okay, well, what am I supposed to do with that? I was listening to you, so I didn't take, all these detailed notes because I just assumed you would have something for me. I had nothing but myself and a hug. This lady looked at me so disgusted, like I was this big. So you just shared with me all these things that I can do and that I'm supposed to do. But you don't have anything for me to do. Baby, basically you opened me up to all this possibility. So you came out here giving all this lip service. You opened me up to all this possibility of what my life could look like, what I could do. And then you didn't prepare anything to help get me to that place. I said, oh my gosh. Do you guys know I started writing my first book after that experience? The audacity to open people up to possibility and then leave them hanging. And let me tell you, while you're out here with false humility and playing small and making up all these reasons for why you can't do the thing, let me tell you what happens. You sprinkle some possibility, you don't have anything to help support people, and then they go find some charlatan somewhere who's got all the things, and they can't tell the difference between you and them, so they go do something else with somebody else. And heaven forbid it don't go right. That's on our watch. That used to be on my watch. That's going to be on your watch. So you tell people this is possible, don't have anything to offer them, like I didn't have anything to offer. And then when they go try to find it and get whatever they got from you, and they're trying to finish and complete and like go through the process, they're ready to do their thing. You out here talking about, I'm scared to, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sell anything. I see somebody said, note to self, finish the book. That's right. Finish the book. Do something, have a platform or somewhere where people can go and continue to experience, right? But it's not enough to be like, here's the story and I'm on the other side. See ya. What are they supposed to do with that? And I'm laughing because I was stunned when this lady confronted me, but I thank God for her. Another angel on the journey. I thank God for her. Right? We confuse selling with a sleazy, greed-driven, whatever connotation, but selling is an act of service. Selling is an act of service. Because if you're going to open your mouth and open people up to possibility, it's an act of love and service to offer them a next step. It's not enough to open them up, because then you just leave them hanging. And then they're like, well, I don't know what to do next. I don't know where to go next. Now they've maybe even caught a glimpse of what's possible for them, and then you're gone. You have to shift your mindset around that. You have to be able to shift your mindset around that. I believe that there is no transformation without transaction. So for those of you that are already out in the marketplace and you are posting and you are doing Facebook Lives and you got the podcast and you're doing all the things, and you want people to be transformed, but you're creating things that cost $3. Well, let me be clear. There is no transformation without transaction. And I do believe the transaction has to be significant enough for people to stop and do the work. Because all of us have bought things for $5. We don't know where it is. We don't know how to log in. We don't know what to do with it. We've never implemented a thing because we didn't value it. Because we didn't value it. And if people are going to change, you're going to have to be comfortable charging. I worked at a nonprofit, as I think I've shared with you guys before, here in Atlanta for about 1.5 years or so. I was a financial management consultant. And I worked with hundreds of people, literally hundreds of people, one-on-one. And they got to work with me for 12 months. They got to work with me for 12 months. Now, remember I told you I lost all my money, but my mind wasn't bad. I was doing my thing in my real estate and mortgage brokerage in terms of getting people credit ready and savings ready to buy their home. So I already knew everything to take people through to help them budget and to help them clean up their credit and all that stuff. So those people were getting me, someone who had built a 7-figure business and had all these years of experience. They were getting me, but they got me through the nonprofit for absolutely free at that time. And I can't tell you the number of people that missed appointments. I can't tell you the number of people who did not do their homework, but I had the #1 scores for the company, for the organization across the country. So I had more people getting their credit together and budgeting and saving and all that stuff. But even though I did, for me, I was still so dissatisfied that more people were not listening. They were not leaning in. They were not taking heed. They were not they took it for granted. But it was free. It was free. Yeah, they didn't have any skin in the game. So they played it to the left. I had to realize, because I obviously I came from a brick and mortar business, and I used to, sell real estate, mortgages, all that stuff. It made sense. It was, we all know what that is, right? When I started to come into this online space, though, I had to transform my mind around these things. I had to transform my mind around these things, especially because like many of you, I grew up thinking, well, I had all those unsupportive beliefs about money, about wealth, about rich people, about charging for things, right? And I made it about, and let me tell you, when I say that I feel like I'm here to be of service, that's not new. Okay. I just want to be clear. I've always been a person who felt like this was about service, but as my purpose evolved and shifted, I had to allow my mindset to shift that to the idea that service doesn't mean you're going to take advantage of me. Service doesn't mean I'm going to let people pimp my gifts. Service doesn't mean you're going to wear me out for $2 and we're not going to have boundaries. Service Service doesn't mean that I'm not going to teach people how to treat me. You think that it's kind and it's noble to basically create struggle in your own life. You think that it's kind and it's noble to keep pouring and pouring into your business and yet it not ever becoming sustainable. Why is that noble? You think because you get to say, oh, I give and help the people. I give and do a lot of things. I don't even post about it. But the reason I'm able to do it is because I've learned I had to have a sustainable business, which means I have to get comfortable talking about money and I have to get comfortable charging people. Not even so much for me, because I can charge more than what I charge. And I don't charge what I could charge to individuals. But if you are a brand or a company, I'm definitely going to charge you. Be clear. Be clear. You have the budget. But I do that so that I can offset things, right? When I offer things to people. Some of you, I read your stories. I read on day 2, who you want to serve. Just because you're serving people who might be in an at-risk population, it's not about charging them. The audience that you need to speak to are the people who can pay to support that work. Right? It's the people who can pay to support that work. So this idea that like, oh, well, the people that I serve, let me tell you this, and I did these together because it goes hand in hand. When you are conveying your value in the marketplace, be careful with the language that you choose. Because the language you choose might invite people in the scenario you said you wanted to support, but you might be inviting people with a struggle mentality who don't understand the value of investing in whatever you say you got going on. People still have to understand the value of who you are, right? And this is why I say in my programs all the time, while you work with me, you should probably also enroll in therapy. Because you're not going to wear me out asking me about marketing tactics that your mind and mindset won't allow you to implement. It's not going to be because what I'm telling you doesn't make sense or doesn't work. It's going to be because your mind and the stories that you've heard for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, some of you guys 40 years, those stories that you've heard and that you've rehearsed are preventing you from showing up in the marketplace and giving value the way you say you want. Right? You know, if you've been in this challenge with me all week, that you were born to be of service. If you've been here with me all week for Committed to the Call, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you're probably a really good person. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you don't have a charlatan bone in your body. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you truly have a heart to serve others. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you genuinely are excited and passionate about what you know you've been called to do. But I'm also going to say that means you're going to have to work twice as hard sometimes to allow yourself to believe that you deserve to be wealthy because of the value you add to others. All of those things don't mean that you don't get to make an offer and you don't get to enroll people in what you have for them. All of those things don't mean that you don't get to charge people. All of those things don't mean that you only label yourself as a person who does $5 transactions. That's not sustainable. If you have a vision for your life, I'm going to also assume that there's a part of you that wants to be a good giver. How can you give what you don't have? How can you give what you don't have? But how can you complain about not having it if you're not willing to ask for it? If you're not willing to share, if you're not willing to open up and to talk to people and to let them know that you have something that can be a blessing to them. You are like me in 2011 when that woman said, I mean, what you mean you don't have anything? So we did all this for what? Right? Conveying value in the marketplace is about showing up, right? It's about showing up consistently. It's about telling that story. In Purpose to Platform, we believe that everyone really should have a proprietary method, and you share and break down parts of that method in the marketplace, right? But once people begin to resonate with it, with the method and with the stuff you're talking about, you have to bring them over to take the next step, because all they're going to do is snack on the little bite-sized pieces of information you're putting out there. But you want to give them an opportunity to feast on a meal that is going to truly fill them up and help transform their lives. So again, if someone is in the street bleeding and they have a bullet wound, you gonna give them a Band-Aid? If I'm bleeding out the side of my neck, blood gushing out, do you think that your Band-Aid is gonna save my life? Yes or no? If I'm bleeding, I have a bullet wound in the side of my neck, and I apologize, I'm from the hood, so this is the example that I have. I've seen a lot of things at a young age. Running over and giving someone a Band-Aid because you're comfortable with Band-Aids, because you think giving someone a Band-Aid is more noble when you trained as a doctor, when you've been to nursing school. But you want to run and give someone a Band-Aid. What good is that? What good is that? We got to stop giving Band-Aids. And some of you need to stop accepting Band-Aids. Some of you need to stop accepting Band-Aids too, because you're bleeding in some area of your life. And I'm not talking about, in the business world. Some of you are out there bleeding in your health and wellness. You are bleeding in your relationships. You are bleeding in your faith. You are bleeding in your environment. You are bleeding in different areas of your life. And you always walking around looking for someone to give you a Band-Aid. When are you going to stop and allow someone to freaking operate and stitch you up and actually help you heal? Because your relationships, your health and wellness, your environment, your faith life, your work, all of the things that you talk about wanting, they're only going to grow to the extent you're willing to heal. Band-Aids are cute when you have a small cut. But some of you have been bleeding out for a long time. And a Band-Aid is never going to fix it. And going from person to person and thing to thing to see if, their Band-Aids, those are nice. Those are flesh tone. Oh, well, those Band-Aids, they got flowers on them. Oh, those are the neon Band-Aids. Those must be new. You going from place to place, gathering Band-Aids. Looking like patchwork. You look like a quilt. You just got Band-Aids stuck all over. But when are you going to commit to actually heal? When are you going to commit to actually get something done? When are you going to commit to all of the steps? If you don't want to be anyone else's Band-Aid, you're going to have to stop accepting Band-Aids. You're going to have to stop accepting Band-Aids. Right? So you can put Band-Aids out in the marketplace. That's as you're talking about what you do, why you do it, how you do it, you're giving little things away here and there consistently. You can put Band-Aids out there, but eventually you're going to have to allow yourself to operate. And in my business program right now, we did a case study last week, and it was about this health center in the Cayman Islands. And they were just talking about the disparity. So there's a health center in India that wanted to create a health center in the Cayman Islands because apparently medical tourism is a big thing, right? And they're comparing the cost of these particular like heart surgeries. And in India, you can get it for like, let's say $6,000 US. In the US, the same heart surgery was $180,000. And they were trying to put these health centers in a place that was close enough to the US, right? So people could get there for the medical tourism, but they can still, do decently. And so they settled on this price of like 30-something thousand, something like this. And this is years ago. This is from this case study, right? There are people, though, who are willing to pay every day in the United States $180,000 because they believe it's going to transform their lives. They don't want a Band-Aid. They're willing to do what it takes. It doesn't matter. They're right over in the Cayman Islands, which is what, maybe a 2-hour flight from here. It doesn't matter that over in the Cayman Islands, the same surgery is $30,000. Somebody's willing to do what they need to do, to get their resources together, to find a way and make a way, right? What if doctors and health centers here were like, I mean, yeah, you know what, but so-and-so is already doing it. I mean, they got it over there in the Cayman Islands. They already doing the same procedure down in Mexico. In India, it's even cheaper, right? The procedure is a Google search away. People can go anywhere they want. At the end of the day, when you want to save your life, you want to save your life. Folk gonna figure it out. Somebody in the Cayman Islands performing the same surgery hasn't stopped medical centers here in the US from charging what they charge and performing the surgery. And neither one of them care about India and what they are charging in India. Yes, whoever said Narayana health case study. Yes, honey, we in the same class, same Harvard Business Review case study. That's it. It always makes me think about, though, that people are gonna do what they want to do. Why are you standing in the way talking about what people can do and what they can't do? That's not your business. Folks are gonna figure out how to get what they want and how to get what they need. It's not your business to stand in the way of that. You think that you're helping. At the end of the day, if someone needs heart surgery and they are willing to pay what they need to get right here in Atlanta and you can perform it, what is wrong with you talking about, let me put a Band-Aid on you and send you over to India? What is wrong? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but we do that. We do that in our business. We don't talk about what we really want to talk about. We don't do what we really want to do because we're looking around trying to see who else is doing it. Well, so down the street is doing it. Okay, you can drive down the street and Aldi and Walmart are right across the street from each other, both talking about they're the low price leader. Well, who's the leader? Because I don't know. Aldi and Walmart right down the street. Chick-fil-A and Wendy's, same parking lot. Chase and Wells Fargo, across the street from each other. I go to Lifetime Fitness, there's an Orange Theory down the street. People are going to have options, but they're not going to know that you are their option until you stop playing small and get out of the way. Commit to the truth and then allow people to choose. I don't sell anything. What I do is let you know that this is what I do in the world. This is how I do it. And if this is what you need, it is an act of love and service for me to be able to take you through that and help you on your journey. I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to force you. I'm not coming to your house to beg you. I don't have to. And I'm not going to. If you know that this is what you need, then you know. The person who knows that they need heart surgery and they don't want to play with Band-Aids anymore and quick fixes, they're going to do what they need to do to get what they need. And everything that you guys wrote, everything that you talk about, everything that you need, like that you can offer to people, there's someone who's going to go, oh, I need her. Oh my gosh, I need him. That's who I need. That's what I want. That's what I need to do next. But to not even present yourself, it's a disservice to you. It's a disservice to the people that you're called to serve. And I believe it's an insult to the Creator that gave you the gifts and allowed you to walk through whatever experience you needed to walk through, to have the knowledge and the compassion and the wisdom that you now have. It's not noble. It's a disservice. And that is what I came here today to say. That is what I came here to say. And you guys, a lot of you in your homework on day 2, you started to name people. Remember, my person is Sandy. I can't think about Sandy bleeding in the street and just walk by her. You want to talk about what's wrong? I think that's wrong. I had to grow to get here, but that's why I share, because I don't want it to take you years. I don't want it to take my clients years to like unpack things, that took me years. You can shorten the learning curve here. When you think about the person that you talked about on Tuesday in your homework, are you willing to just walk by them and either give them nothing at all or give them a Band-Aid when you know good and heck well they're not sleeping that night? And you know good and heck well they're walking through some tough things, or you know good and heck well that they're waking up not feeling good about themselves. You know good and heck well that they are living with shame and embarrassment and guilt that you've learned how to walk through, that you've learned how to get to the other side of. You can't, you just gonna walk by them. And if you do stop, you know what this is like, and you want to give them a Band-Aid? Come on, man. If you called, you have to do better than that. And it is your duty and responsibility to make sure that you create a business. If that's your thing, is to create a business. I know all of you are not here to do that. But for those of you who are here to create a business, if you're called to create this business and serve those people, it doesn't help them when you can't keep it sustainable. Especially when the only reason you can't keep it sustainable is because you're scared to open your mouth. That doesn't help them. And many of us, have suffered in silence for a long time. But have you thought about, we've done our fair share. I know I suffered in silence in a lot of ways for a lot of different things. And things didn't start to shift for me in the way I show up, in the way I share my story, until I realized that me suffering in silence also prolongs other people suffering in silence. Every time I take it off of me and put it on Sandy, it changes the game for me. It makes me recommit. It makes me double down. it makes me want to go further and go all in because it's not about me. So again, you may not have to share every detail of that story, but I want to encourage those of you that are comfortable to start to get out there and convey value in the marketplace. Bits and pieces. And again, I'm saying to those that are comfortable and that are ready, if you haven't done the work, if you don't really know how to do that or where to go, I'm not just trying to push you out there and, especially if you haven't been in therapy or you're not in any type of therapy, that's not what I'm trying to do. But I do want to encourage you because I know that it gets easier in the doing. It doesn't get easier in the thinking about it. It gets easier in the doing. Okay? So, who did their homework? Who did their homework? I love that. When your eyes are focused on something, your eyes are not looking at you. Yeah. We got to focus on the people. It's so rewarding, you guys. It really is. I don't ever get tired of people sending me DMs and telling me that something that I did, something that I put out there, something that they heard me say on a podcast shifted something for them. I just got a DM today from one of our P2P alum who shared with me that she didn't even know her cousin also was a listener of the Redefining Wealth podcast, and how the podcast helped change her life a couple years ago and like shift and get her, like I had to sit on my porch and with that and read it a couple times. It still makes me feel so good. It still makes me feel so good every day that I hear, right? Because an audience of one is still an audience. And every day, if one person says, oh my gosh, you said this thing and this was a blessing to me, okay, cool. But I also realize that if I keep opening people up to possibility, it's my responsibility to show them what to do next. And that's not something that I could even pretend to do with a lot of people, right? So I have homework and I do have giveaways. But before I get into that, last night, many of you were asking, I think I was sharing that we keep getting DMs and emails. So if you see me do a challenge, more than likely, I'm going to tell you about Purpose to Platform because it only opens up twice a year. And actually, I have some exciting news, but I can't share like the details yet. But I can say it has to do with filming and it's going to be time consuming. And so I share that to say that the team and I have decided that I won't be doing Purpose to Platform twice a year even. I'm going to do it once a year. I'm only going to do it once a year because that's all that I have the bandwidth for if I want to, create the space for these opportunities. But also remember, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister. I'm just myself. I like the gym. I like to spend time in my prayer room. I don't have a desire to work 24/7 and be a public success and a private failure. So we're already looking at skimming back. And so for those of you who even know about Command the Stage, you might remember Command the Stage, I also was going to do twice a year. And I only did it once this year. And I'm not going to do it again this year. So I said that to say, I'm not saying that I won't do P2P again, but I do want to share with those of you who feel like this is a great next step for you. I know you've seen people post about it and talk about it. So I want to share what it is because I'm not going to leave you in hell and I'm not going to leave you stuck. If you know that you have been putting Band-Aids on your business, then I want to give you an opportunity to learn more about Purpose to Platform. So I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do homework and giveaways. So Purpose to Platform is my baby. Purpose to Platform is my baby. It is what we call a 12-week incubator. For those of you who know my story, you know that my daughter was born almost 10 weeks prematurely. And that means she was in the NICU, right? Neonatal intensive care unit. And she was in an incubator. And you know that when you're in that incubation phase, you need more eyeballs on you. You need some more love. You need some more attention. You need just a little bit more, right? Than babies that are probably full term and don't have any challenges. And I think that building a business is one of the most beautiful and hardest things you can do. It's beautiful, and it also can feel like a burden, especially if you're not in community and you don't have the proper tools or support around you. So I created Purpose the Platform and debuted it in March of 2019. At this point, we've had over 200 people go through Purpose, almost 300 people go through Purpose the Platform. And I created it to be that safe space and incubator that I needed but didn't have access to. That I needed and didn't have access to when I was getting started, right? Especially because I was such a lone ranger and used to doing everything by myself. So Purpose the Platform is a safe space for you to take your next best step. If you know, okay, I'm getting some clarity here around my purpose. I'm starting to really figure things out here. I kind of have an idea of who I want to serve. And this is for emerging and evolving. Just because you've been in business, if it don't look like a business now, maybe you started something, but it's not fully a business. This is for you too, right? Because maybe you skipped some steps that you need to go back and revisit. So this is a safe space to take your next best step. If you're going to answer the call, I really believe that you shouldn't do it alone. I believe that greatness is not created in isolation. And I believe it's so important, especially for those of you who have come from backgrounds of doubt and uncertainty and all this stuff, to have genuine support and that little push. That little push that you need when your mind starts to play with you. Remember last night I said the angel and the devil on your shoulder and the devil starts to play with you. You need a safe space to unpack that and get the support and encouragement to keep pushing. So Purpose the Platform is a 12-week incubator, and my goal is to help you exponentially increase your income, your influence, your impact, all three, but with integrity. So we don't believe in a whole bunch of gimmicks and tricks. This is how do you have a strong foundation that is yours, not mine. You don't need to be a clone of Patrice. You don't need to be a baby Patrice. Because I have a podcast and books and I speak and I do brand work, you don't have to do everything that I do. You have to figure out what authentically speaks to you. And our goal in Purpose the Platform is to surround you with the tools, the coaching, the curriculum, the community to help you get clear on who you serve, to get clear on why you chose them so you never leave them bleeding in the street again. And for you to choose a platform that will allow you to shine like the rock star you are, because all of us have a certain way that we show up and shine better. In one stage of my career, I shined and I thrived with writing. Now for me, it's more about speaking and doing things more audible. Purpose evolves. But what's your next best step? What's your 1.0, right? And how do you bring it all together so that you can make it sustainable? Because this is not about how do I charge $2 for something. This is not what that is, because that's not sustainable, right? So, and I'll get to your questions, I promise. If I don't see your questions, you can ask me again in a second. But how do we make this a reality? Quality content. I recorded almost 40 lessons for you, and I'll tell you what the breakdown is, but I recorded almost 40 lessons, and this is with all the fluff removed, because I invested so much money over the years, you guys, in building my brand and building my business. And with everything that I did, there were things here and there that made sense, that worked. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of things that I experienced, I felt like were complete fluff. Now, I'm not mad, because I do believe that one thing can change everything. But what I wanted to do with Purpose the Platform was not have so much fluff, all the fluff. I wanted to have quality content, right? That got straight to the point about what your steps are and how, again, you do this in a building block. And then I wanted to layer on top of their weekly coaching, not just with me, but you have 6 coaches. You have 6 other coaches so that you are well supported. It's like 360 degrees of coaching in this community. There are accountability challenges. So essentially, when you guys were posting your homework, we would kind of call that an accountability challenge. But when you're working with me in Purpose the Platform, yes, you can share in the group, but I also push you to start sharing and I give the exact scripts and the exact templates. You just have to tweak it and make it your own so that you can get comfortable, right? Starting to share who you are in the marketplace so you can reintroduce yourself based on what you're learning in the program. We also have master mentor sessions where I bring in high multiple 6, 7, almost 8-figure mentors, people who have learned how to build their platform using different tools or using specific platforms. And they come in, and when I tell you, if there's any P2P sisters here, these master mentors pour in, they stay and answer questions, and it's just a beautiful experience. And we do that once a month in the community on top of the weekly coaching. And then if you can't tell, the heart-centered community, that is such a big piece of Purpose to Platform. I think that I'm a really good coach. I'm just going to say that. Actually, I know I'm a damn good, phenomenal coach. I know that. But Purpose to Platform is nothing without the community. Every time we do it, I believe that every single person that came into that cohort, it was literally divine. People have found their sisters. Literally. I just told them today, and Coach Allie initiated a conversation in our Purpose to Platform alumni group, which everyone gets to go to for free once the program is over. And the way that I see them show up and support, even to this day, the way that I see them tagging each other, showing up for each other's stuff, being on each other's podcasts and sharing the stage is just beautiful. And those wins are great. But what I love is that when it's not so good and people allow themselves to be vulnerable enough, the support that they get as well. It's unmatched. And it makes me so happy every time. So those are the 5 core components of Purpose to Platform. Those are the 5 core components. Okay. I tell you, this is so funny to me at this point, how things just keep not wanting to do what they're supposed to do. I don't even, all I can do is laugh. Back to Job 5:22, laugh in the face of it all. Okay. So the content, I just want to give you a breakdown of what we cover. First of all, mindset. You don't have a business or anything else if your mindset is not in the right place to receive it. The biggest thing people walk away from Purpose to Platform with is confidence. I think Andrea King, I saw posted today, she said, I don't think any of us who come out of Purpose to Platform can ever basically quit on our calling. You can pause. You can take a step back because we believe in rest. We believe in restoration. I do believe in the pillars. At the end of the day, I live by and believe in those pillars. So if you need to attend to your family, your health, your faith, and whatever else, I am all for it. But the mindset has to be in the right place to understand that this is just a pause. This is a pause. This is a blip in the journey, but I'm still committed to doing what I was called to do. Mindset is like the number one thing for me. So we do a lot around mindset. Mission and vision, I'm very big on because you're not a clone of your sister to the left or the right. You need to know what God gave you to do. So I'm big on sticking to the vision that God gave you. You don't have to be attached to how you get there, but what are you called to do? One of the things that breaks my heart is when people get away from this, and I posted in the alumni group, I don't know who needs to come back to their purpose planning guide. Because you get out here in the world and you start leaning into what so-and-so did and so-and-so did. No, I want you to be clear about your mission and vision so that you always know that you're walking in an alignment with what you were called to do. We talk about messaging. Messaging is so key. One of the reasons people are not moving their businesses forward or not moving their ideas or their thoughts forward is because they know who they want to serve, but they're talking to different versions of that person, right? Your messaging is off. So you keep attracting the wrong clients. You keep attracting people that you technically don't want to serve because you don't understand the power of messaging and how to choose the right words and explain things more succinctly, right? In a way that your audience can absorb. We go through a whole module on method. As I said earlier, I believe everyone who wants to be a thought leader in their space needs to be a method, needs to have a proprietary method. And we help you pull back the layers of your experience and figure out what your method is. And then marketing. Now, let me say this. Many people think they have a marketing problem. Do you see that marketing is number 5? You can't do any solid marketing when your mindset is not in the right place and you have limiting beliefs around service. You can't do any marketing when you keep flip-flopping about what your mission and vision is. Your marketing is going to fall flat when your messaging is not clear. And if you don't have the right method, there's nothing that's going to separate you from the next person in your marketing. There's nothing that's going to separate you. And this is from someone who's now a media veteran. You have to have your own method in order to even really get in front of media people and brand people, because they have to understand how it fits in. And that's what we teach. And then money, we talk about revenue wheels and how you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket in your business, right? There's a lot of people, I was sharing with you, I think on one of the first nights, the pandemic happened and that was it. And in some spaces that makes sense. But if you're an infopreneur, if you're selling information, if you're sharing with people, there's multiple ways to do that. Technology is our friend. There's so many different ways to do that. One thing being shut down like travel shouldn't just completely wipe you out, but it wiped a lot of people out. I'm sure they're even here. And then this is the one that I wish I would have gotten more support with early on, which was managing time and people. Because I don't feel like I was equipped initially for the fact that as my platform began to grow, that I was going to have to bring people on, okay, well, to do what roles? Like, how does that work? How do I start to prepare for those people? But also managing my time effectively. So we go through all of this in 12 weeks in Purpose to Platform. All of the things that I just named are broken down into almost 40 lessons, right? And then I surround you with the coaches, and I just wanted to give them a shout out because they are phenomenal. They have been such a blessing. Most of them are former P2P alumni who went off to, or P2P alumni, who went off to like do their own things. They were launching stuff and have their own programs and their own platforms, but they are lending their skills. Well, let me not say lending because it ain't free, honey. We paying. They are, yes, though, lending from their platform, their skills. And let me tell you, when you put all of these women together, no way that you could get me and all of them like in this way, in the way that we set up this community. So all of these coaches do weekly calls that teach you new skill sets. They help you get your question answered. There's a lot of mindset stuff that goes on to really support you. Mindset is in everything we do, because in each area of your business, you're going to have to shift probably or expand your mindset around that area. So for those of you who are like, oh, I hate tech, I understand. Tech tends to be my challenge too. So we have Coach Sandra, who does tech calls every week to help you get more comfortable with tech, answer your questions, show you the basic things that we all need to have to build an online brand. Coach Sandra's there every week. Coach Brittany is our mindset calls. Listen, if you see anyone in P2P in this group talking about I'm big business, they got that from Coach Brittany. No matter what you come in with and what stories you have, this woman has the power of helping you transform your mindset and start to think and talk differently about yourself and your gifts. And I thought that that was very important to have. Because again, no matter what I help you work through with marketing, if your mindset is not ready to receive, it's going to be a constant conversation for you. We have Coach Courage. No secret here. Faith is a big part of my life. And I do believe that when people step into their really embracing their purpose, resistance is real. Life keeps happening. And I wanted to have an element of support that came through like the faith calls. So every week, you can do the faith call. All of these calls are optional. I'm not trying to wear you out. All of these calls are optional, but I wanted you to have the support so that you can choose each week. Well, what do I need right now? My faith is low. I'm going to Coach Courage's faith calls, right? We have Coach Kathy, strategy and planning calls. A lot of you are juggling a lot of different things. Many of you may have a 9-to-5 job. Coach Kathy helps you strategize around setting up your calendar and your life to support you getting this off the ground. She is a big deal out in corporate America. And yes, she has these, you see her passion for fitness if you have been seeing her in the Facebook group, but she also has a nonprofit and she also has her own business that she's running on the side. How are we able to accomplish these things? She's really, really great at goal setting and setting up your calendar in your life to support you. So we have that for you, because I don't want that to be a barrier. We have Coach Christina. All of the graphics that you ever see, all of the images that you see on social media, 97% of them, if they're cute, they came from Christina. If they're not, they came from me, but that's okay. Because when I need to get my point across, I'm just going to do it. But my graphic designer is the branding coach in the community. So helping you figure out how to choose the right colors, fonts, and all this stuff. Now, mind you, we don't believe that branding is just about logos and fonts and colors, but there is some elements of that you need to understand. And Coach Christina teaches on that every week. Excuse me. And then we have Coach Jatia for clarity. For those of you who are multi-passionate or you have all these ideas, Coach Jatia is so good at helping you pull it all together to find the common theme so you can explain who you are and what you do. Like, so me plus these 6 powerful women are what this experience has to offer. You don't have to go to everything, right? But we have it available to you if you need it. And everything is recorded and there's always replays. So even if you're not ready for some things, when you get ready for branding, you can go back before the program is up. But you also have 12 months with the content. You'll have access to the content for 12 months. So even if you leave and you weren't ready for branding calls yet, you can go back and get them, right? And then on top of that, I do calls every Friday for 2 hours. They're content immersion where I walk you through the curriculum. So you still need to go through the lessons, but I'm going to take you through high level what to expect and what to really look out for, as well as do laser coaching. So Q&A, but I'll also be bringing people up to coach in real time with me, whatever they're working through for that week. So that's some of the breakdown. Okay. Again, the Heart Center community, we focus on support, sisterhood, and a safe space. I don't like gossip. I don't like comparison. We're not doing judgment, and I don't believe in unkind communication. And even during welcome orientation, I'm the first to say that you guys know that I'm a tough love type of person if you haven't learned. But I will never say anything to you malicious. I will never say anything, I hope not condescending. But in this community, if I were to say something to ever offend you, I wouldn't want you to leave and be upset. I would want you to remind me and tell me, you did this and you said this, and it made me feel this way. And if I have to publicly apologize to you, I will. Right? Same standard for me, top down. No unkind communication, none of that. Because a lot of what we do, the reason it's an all women group is if you read these stories, you see that a lot of the stories have to do with a mistrust of men in some form or fashion. And there's so much being shared and there's so much vulnerability that I make it an all woman space because I want to try my best to keep it safe. That's why. So for the guys who are like, how come it's only women? That's why. My heart is for women. My heart is to serve women. That's who I've been called to serve. And I feel like I do a really great job of creating a safe space. And that's why. But we're going to be kind. We're going to be respectful. We're going to be supportive. And some of the ladies that are here, again, I haven't been looking at the chat, but the P2P sisters that are here will tell you day one, we're very clear about how we treat each other and what this is. And for some of these ladies, by day 7, they knew they had found their sisters. They already knew they had found their sisters. What type of services or industries? If you're a coach and consultant, P2P would be great for you. If you're an author, speaker, podcaster, a content creator of some type, or you plan to be, P2P would be great for you. Even if you have no business at all, I actually prefer that you don't, so that you can start with a strong foundation. Because once people start going through P2P, many people start scrapping what they had because they realized why it wasn't working in the first place. If you're in the health and wellness space, we're a great fit. Business and finance, beauty and fashion. If you're in ministry, if you have anything that can be packaged like information, this is great. If you are selling a product, if you are selling widgets, this is probably not the right space for you. All of the things that we have can support you, but I want to know that you're fully supported. I want to know that you're fully supported. And I haven't thrived personally in selling products. I have products, I sell products, but they've never been a main part of my business. So everything that I share with you, I want to know that I know what I'm talking about. I want to make sure that is real and that it works. So I don't want to do that. We've had people come in and they've had success, but I realized that there was always a disconnect because so much of what we talk about are how to do the other things, the books, the podcasting, the videos, all the branding and stuff like that. So I just want to be in complete integrity and tell you, if you're trying to sell some type a widget, I'm not the best person to teach you how to sell widgets. There might be more to it. I think that all of what I teach is foundational, but they might be more to it. And I want you to get what you need, right? This experience is for anyone who says, okay, I don't sell widgets and I know I have a call on my life and there's just a tug in your spirit to do more. And you want to operate in integrity, you want to operate in purpose, and you still want to create financial fulfillment. You're not here to keep going through the false humility, right? If you want to build something powerful with more grace and ease, I'm not saying easy, I'm saying more grace and ease because you're fully supported. This is a good community for you. If you don't want to sound like a clone of your coach, this is a good community for you because I don't want everyone to do exactly what I do if that's not what you've been called to do. But if you have been called to do it, I will do my best to support you through it. If you have a business established, but if you're honest, you don't have the life you desired because you have a lot of missing pieces and gaps in what you're doing, this is a good space for you. If you're starting, maybe your goal is to I'm going to get out of my job in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I want to start building up and build my personal brand on the side. And you want to color by numbers and stop trying to piece things together and band-aid yourself to death. This is a good space for you. And if you know that you have what it takes, but you just are confused about where to start, we're a great space for you. We're a great space for you. So here's the investment. And again, I haven't been looking at the comments because I just want to get through this and not be so distracted. But you can ask me any questions in a second. The quality content, easily, the content alone is worth at least $5,000. Easily. You're getting 7 coaching sessions per week. Again, this is not to overwhelm you, right? But we are available. There's an opportunity. For some of you, I'm at home, I'm going to do everything. That's great. And for some of you, I'm going to do Patrice's and I'm going to have to figure out what are the 2 or 3 other things I need each week. That's great. Take what you need. We just want to make sure that it's available. But when you have all 7 of us at your disposal, you're talking about almost $20,000 for 12 weeks. Yeah. Accountability challenges that push you out your comfort zone, those are priceless. Because for those challenges, sometimes that's the first time people hear or realize that people do value what you have to say in the marketplace. And that just starts a whole nother domino effect of really great stuff, right? Master mentor sessions we have valued at $800 or $900. And then the Heart Center community, I couldn't even put a value. What are genuine lifelong relationships worth? Well, after you're in the program, this community is set up so that you guys can continue to thrive together. The relationships that you built don't necessarily just end at the end of the program. And I always tell people, if you leave Purpose to Platform and you don't have one good sister girlfriend, that was your choice. That was by choice. It's not because we didn't set the tone and create the atmosphere for it. So everything that I just listed is $34.99. That's $3,500 for 12 weeks of coaching with me, the other 7 ladies, the community, the master mentors, all of the things. $34.99 if you pay in full. We just added this 3 monthly payment opportunity. So it's 3 payments of $12.99. And I'm sorry, I don't have that breakdown with me, which is basically like $115 or so of a service charge or finance charge each month, but it breaks down to be $12.99. And if you want to enroll, and this is for you, and maybe at some other point down the year you know that there's going to be an opportunity for you to pay it off early, you can definitely do that. But we do have a 12 pay option for $349. Now the program is 12 weeks. The program is 12 weeks, but we're giving you 12 months to pay for it. And the only reason that I still allow this 12 monthly payment, because think about it, I'm pouring out for 12 weeks every single week. I'm surrounding you with coaches that I'm investing in. I'm surrounding you with support. I'm surrounding you with this amazing curriculum. All the risk is really on me. And the only reason we keep doing it is because the sisters who have come before you, a good majority of them have done what they said they were going to do. And that's the type of community that we have. And the moment that more people don't do the right thing, that opportunity to do 12 monthly payments will go away. But these are the options we have to make it more accessible for more people, right? So that's Purpose to Platform. And I wanted to take my time just so you're clear and you can hear me say it. You're going to have an opportunity to ask me more questions later or ask me tomorrow. You can definitely ask in the group, but I think it's that it's easier for me to see and catch everything if you ask here. But this is what it is. This is how I serve. This is the best way I know how right now to help you stay committed to the call. This is what I know that I can do really, really well with the support of an amazing team that many people don't get to see behind the scenes, and a wonderful coaching staff that really, really understand what we do at Redefining Wealth, why we do it. They believe it. They are sold out for it, and they are sold out for your transformation. So, I almost forgot. And we have a bonus. So this year we have a bonus to an event that I'm going to do. It's like a half-day summit that I'm super excited about. And it's called Position to Prosper. It's called Position to Prosper. And it'll be in November, right as we're nearing graduation time for Purpose to Platform. And I think it's the perfect send-off. Because these are ladies that are my good girlfriends in real life. They're like my business besties. And I want you to be so equipped as you learn all this stuff over the next 12 weeks, and then you get ready to launch and go out there into the world. I want you to be equipped, and I want you to have some wise women in your back pocket to really help answer your questions about how they went from Purpose to Platform, because we all had to start somewhere. And so I have Kathy Heller. Some of you know me because of Kathy Heller. She's going to talk about spirit-led strategy and marketing as an entrepreneur, because Kathy and I have both done things that were like going against the grain, and we trusted ourselves and what we were feeling led to do, not what all the gurus were saying at the time. And then you have Rachel Luna, who's my good girlfriend, one of my prayer partners. She talks about selling with confidence, and she's a faith expert. And then my other girlfriend, who some of you may have seen me on a live with earlier this week, I did her giveaway of Brown Girl Jane, her wellness products yesterday. I have some more for you here in just a second. She's going to talk about self-care for the entrepreneurial woman. And I'm really, really excited to offer this. We may or may not sell tickets to this, but I know that anyone who comes into Purpose to Platform by the end of the day on Monday will receive a complimentary ticket. And if I do sell tickets, because I'm also going to be teaching, so if I do sell tickets to it, a heads up that it'll be at $197. But if you come in by Monday, it'll be complimentary to you. And so for those of you who are ready, like a lot of you signed up yesterday when we did open up the wait list, and I'm so excited to get to meet you all and really get to know you. And for those of you who are like, you're figuring it out, you're thinking about it, should you decide to come and work with us, welcome home. Because for the next 12 weeks, we're going to be your safe space to step into your power and purpose so you can build wealth from a place of abundance. No more scarcity mindset. Right? And my team and I, we're going to do our part, everything that we could possibly do. But we want to do it with people who are committed to seeing it through, and people who don't want to skip steps anymore and keep using Band-Aids. All right. So more information and details are at purpose2platform.com. They're at purpose2platform.com. All right. That's it. Now that's it for that part. So if you're interested in Purpose to Platform, if you want to see all the details, because I gave you the high level, go to purpose, the number 2. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. Go to purpose, the number 2, platform.com. And you'll see all the information there. I thought I had, okay, I could put this one up. Okay, so let's get into some giveaways. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see any questions. So I'm not sure if you have any questions. But if you do, as I try to catch them, I'll answer them as I see them. But I do want to do giveaways so I can get you guys wrapped up for day 4, and you can go to sleep if you're on the other side of the world. All right. I got giveaways. So I just mentioned my girl Ty Beauchamp. Let me pull it up. I just mentioned Ty and the wellness pack that I have. Uh-oh. No, I was trying to remove that. How do I remove that? There we go. Let me bring up what that looks like. I want to give away, first and foremost, again, I already thanked everyone. Thank you for doing your homework. Thank you for doing your homework. We have been reading so much. I read so many of your posts this morning, and I'm really excited. And I think I even recognized one of the winner names. So I'm super excited. Okay, so Brown Girl Jane, this is the wellness pack from my girl Ty Beauchamp. Super excited. She is one of the speakers at Position to Prosper. And this giveaway is going to Coach Ashley's team. This is going, if you're on Coach Ashley's team, make some noise because it might be you. It could be you. It could be you. All right, Coach Ashley's team. The winner of Ty Beauchamp's wellness products is Janelle Ford. Janelle Ford, are you here? If Janelle Ford is here, if someone knows her, make sure you tag her. Coach Ashley's group. I see Coach Ashley like, hello. Coach Ashley's group, represent. I see folks saying, hey, Coach Ashley. Janelle Ford, you won Ty Beauchamp's wellness. I see people saying Janelle Ford. I hope she's there. I hope she's there. Rhonda Green says, when does Purpose to Platform, I think you mean to say, when does Purpose to Platform start? We start next Sunday. August 22nd is our welcome orientation. We jumping straight in and staying in momentum. We're staying in momentum. So you would start August 22nd and your graduation date is November 12th. So you would just keep going with me. All right. Congratulations to Janelle. I can't see if she's here. I'm trying to see her name, but for me, it just goes really quickly. But congratulations to Janelle. I see someone say thank you, but I can't tell if it's her. So congratulations. She's here. Awesome. It's just hard for me to see it. Let me take this banner down. Yeah, it's just hard for me to see it. Okay. Congratulations, Janelle. Shanti's going to be in touch. She's going to get your information so that we can get that sent out to you, but we're going to reach out to everyone. So if you're a winner, more than likely, because we're really working a lot behind the scenes right now, you're going to hear from Shanti probably on Monday. Oh, she said, I'm here. Hey, girl. It just says Facebook user. See, this is all I see. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy. The products are amazing. So I hope you do enjoy. Okay, next up. Since we've been talking about telling our stories, I felt like it was appropriate to have 2 different things to give away today that would help you take your story or help you tell your story or take your story to the next level. Okay, so with that being said, the next thing I'd like to give away today is, look at me stalling, is Podcast with Purpose. So we have another Podcast with Purpose giveaway. So if you are like, yes, I am ready to tell my story. I don't know why it looks like that. If you're like, yes, come on, Patrice. Okay. If you're like, I am ready to tell my story. I have so much to say. I'm ready to go. I want to crack the mic. Podcast with Purpose is such a great course to help you get intentional and set your podcast up to win from the beginning. not throw it out there and then have to take a step back in a few months and redo it and rework it. That's the reason a lot of people never get past 10 episodes, right? So I break down everything that I did to help start the Redefining Wealth podcast. And even at what point I started to have offers and all those things. I break it all down, how I broke out the content I wanted to share, all that stuff. So the winner of Podcast with Purpose is on Coach Roberta's team. Yep, Coach Roberta. Woo! Okay, Coach Roberta, is Christina Johnson here? Is Christina Johnson here? Does anybody see her? Christina Johnson, Coach Roberta, tag your girl. Christina Johnson, you just won Podcast with Purpose. Again, if you're like, I just don't have any desire to start a podcast, just let us know so we can bless someone else with it. Because if you don't want it, I'll just give it away tomorrow. But if you want it, congratulations. So Coach Roberta, please tag Christina Johnson and make sure she knows that she won Podcast with Purpose. And thank you so much for your homework. I believe I did read your homework, Christina, and you have an amazing story. And if you are comfortable getting on the mic, I really do hope that you lean into Podcast with Purpose and it helps you tell that story in a powerful way. All right. That was that. Okay. Now, who's in Facebook jail? Coach Roberta's in Facebook jail. Oh no. How does that happen? All right. Now here's the biggie. I'm so excited to give this away. Here's the biggie. Y'all know what it is? Command the Stage. Woo! Okay. I love Command the Stage. Purpose to Platform and Command the Stage are my babies. I absolutely love Command the Stage. This is my speaker training, complete download, everything that I've learned in over 10 years of building my career as a speaker in the marketplace and learning how to really tell your story from a place of power. So my goal for any of you who end up in Command the Stage is that you know what your signature story is and you know how to tell it and be more magnetic, more memorable, and more powerful every time you deliver it. And the reason that I don't care about telling my story another 46,000 times is because I know every time I deliver it, it's going to draw the right people who I'm called to serve into me because they need to know my truth so that they know why I'm the person to serve them. So not only will you win Command the Stage, and I believe in people having something now, so I'm going to also give you an autographed hardcover of the book because Command the Stage won't be back till 2022. But this person will be the first person with a seat in Command the Stage, and they're from Coach Taylor's team. If you're on Coach Taylor's team, make some noise. If you're on Coach Taylor's team, make some noise. This person, the value is $29.95. So this is a $3,000 giveaway. And the value of Redefine Wealth for Yourself, priceless, or $25, whichever. The person who won this, and I double checked and made sure that they really shared their heart and went deep and they were vulnerable with their story, just to make sure it was real. I think it's Shatila Monet. I went and read and made sure that the name that this pulled up was somebody who I believe could really benefit from learning how to tell their story powerfully. Command the Stage is a program. It was meant to be a live event, but then COVID. I see it. I'm here. I hope that's you. I saw it. I'm here. Congratulations. Command the Stage was meant to be a live event. COVID changed it into a training. And I believe that when I deliver it in 2022, it'll be a hybrid of a training because there's There's pieces to learning how to really build your story. And I don't want to not machine gun, water hose you with information and you not have a chance to absorb it. So I'm going to do it probably as a 4 to 5 week digital version. And then we're going to come together live and practice in person. That is my desire for Command the Stage in 2022. So not only will I deliver it online, but then you're going to come to Atlanta and we're going to all meet up in a ballroom and you're going to get to practice it live, what you learned in the virtual component. And that's Command the Stage if it's safe. If it's safe to do that, that's my heart. Okay? So congratulations to all the winners. There's still more things to win, and tomorrow's going to be my biggest giveaway day. Tomorrow's going to be my biggest giveaway day. So for those of you who are like, where my coach at? We got you. We coming tomorrow. We're going to come tomorrow. And tomorrow to just get tomorrow is where I tend to get on the team's nerves because I just start giving stuff away. It depends on how my spirit feels. So I definitely have more things to give away tomorrow. But congratulations to all the winners tonight. Again, Chauncey on my team will be in touch with you, whether that's to get a mailing address to ship out next week, whatever your gifts are, or to just make sure that we have you registered and you have access to any programs that you want access to. All right. That's it. That's it for tonight. Oh no, your homework. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Your homework. Let me do your homework real quick so that you know what you need to do to be entered into tomorrow's giveaway. So tonight was all about convey value in the marketplace. Here are the questions. And remember, your coaches will post your questions. Answer under their image. First question, what reasons have you made up about not being able to sell or offer something of value in the marketplace? That's your first question. So sit with yourself and figure out why you are so hesitant or timid about it, right? Then, how has it done you and your ideal market a disservice? So what happens to the person you were designed to help heal, transform when they have no support? And I actually did this again recently. That's not for me to discuss right here, but I did it again recently and it literally broke my heart that I was still leaving this particular segment of people behind. And so I start trying to figure out what I could do to serve. So these are not like one-time questions, you guys. These are things that as your career and as your brand evolves, you're going to keep coming back to. And just because you get past a certain limiting belief, that doesn't mean that it doesn't find a way to creep up in different seasons of your life. It still happens. And so I'm still doing this work right along with you all, just in different ways, right? So how has it done your ideal client, that person you named on Tuesday, a disservice? What happens to them when you just keep walking by and either ignoring them or giving them a Band-Aid? What happens to them? And then the last thing I want you to think about is what happens to your business or ministry? Is it sustainable? Does it last? Does it have the impact that you believe you're called to have? What happens? So these are your questions to think about tonight. And tomorrow I'll be back for the 5th and final day of Committed to the Call. Again, some people started posting outside of their coach's posts, and we're not taking those into consideration for the purpose of the giveaway. If you want to be entered in the giveaway, then you need to follow the directions so that we can keep up and find everyone who submitted, right? Who's posted something. And as you can imagine, tomorrow I will likely be giving away some scholarships to Purpose to Platform. I'm only going to give them to people who are here live. If I call your name for a scholarship for Purpose to Platform and you're not here, I will have a list of names and I will go on to the next person because I'm focused on people who are committed. Okay? I'm just going to tell you straight up. People that I believe I can see through to a good result after 12 weeks in our community. And Coach Roberta, if you're on Coach Roberta's team, was one of the people who won a scholarship during our last challenge. And she makes me so proud and so excited to give more scholarships, because I love to do that when I know people are actually going to take it seriously. So if you're on Coach Roberta's team, I think you already know that she is amazing. And it was such a joy to watch her get that scholarship, but then not do anything with it. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to do more tomorrow, but I'm only going to do it for people who show up. If you don't show up when I'm doing scholarships, I will move on to the next person. All right. So if you have questions about Purpose to Platform, you can type them here. I'll hang on for like a few minutes, or you can just tag me in the Facebook group. I'll do my best, but I got to go be mom right now. I get to go be mom right now, and hear all the new high school drama. But other than that, you guys have a blessed night. Have a wonderful night. Your teams are inside of the Redefining Wealth Facebook group. They post their images when we are done every night, and their images have the letters. So it's the first letter of the last name, right? Is how you will find your coach. First letter of your last name is how you will find your coach. So, gonna go be mom. You guys have a blessed evening. Let us know if you have any questions. All of your coaches know all of the details about Purpose to Platform. So if you want to ask them questions, please do. Don't feel like you have to wait to get it from me. There's a team of us here to support you. So get your questions answered. Again, all of the information is at purpose2platform.com. Purpose2platform.com. For those of you who are already in, I'm so excited for you. I'm going to start trying to match up all the names I see coming in with you in Facebook, so I know who I can start like stalking and getting to know a little bit before welcome orientation. And I'm really excited for you. I'm excited for what's going to come, because I'm assuming you're obedient to what you feel led to do, and you said yes. So your obedience and my obedience matching up is going to be some great things. All right. That's it for me, you guys. Go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without chasing money. God bless you guys and have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow for the wrap up. Bye-bye.